I was our first customer. So when I was sitting in this marketing class at the end of 2017, I had this marketing professor going over all the success rates in marketing, and everything was super low, super nominal, like single digit email, cold calling, direct mail. And he ends this lecture saying, "Hey guys, you know what works better now, if not better than ever, is a good old fashioned handwritten note. Handwritten notes have a 99.2% open rate, and you can Google that. That's stats everywhere over the internet. They're rare. People aren't using them anymore. We live in a digital world." And I saw it, like me being in sales, I was like, man, if I can get in front of my client 99.2% of the time, that is going to make me more successful. And I'm super competitive. Like I always wanted to do better than what I did last month. So I was like, ooh, like this could work. Let's figure out a way to do this.
To the 91 Day Success Podcast. I'm Jonathan, and I am thrilled today to have a unique guest with me, Rick Elmore from Simply Noted. And we're going to learn some really amazing things. But one of the things I love most about what Rick's doing and his company is they're actually using an old fashioned marketing tool to have new age results. So, with that, Rick, if you would start, can you give us a 30-second overview of yourself? And then we'll get into some of your story here in a minute. But can you
Sure.
give us the elevator pitch?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for the introduction. Like you said, my name is Rick Elmore. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Simply Noted. When I grew up, I was an athlete. I played all the sports, but really found a liking to football early on. Was a Division I athlete at the University of Arizona. Had a good career there, and then was lucky enough to get drafted into the NFL in 2011. Had the very typical career that most people don't understand. This just because you go to the NFL, you're not like super like famous or successful. Like 95% of the athletes there are just journeyman trying to make teams. And but I got to live out my childhood dream. After that, I got in the corporate medical sales and marketing world for 6 years. First year, basically just took everything that made me successful as an athlete, all the passion, desire, perseverance, strength, being a good teammate, work ethic, grit, all that stuff, and applied it to my corporate career. Was rookie of the year one. In the next 5 years, I was either top 1% or top five sales rep in the company. But in 2017, I had an itch I couldn't scratch. Knew I didn't want to be in corporate America my entire life or my entire career. I needed to try something new. So I went back and did my MBA. And I had that entrepreneurial seizure moment during it at one of my marketing classes. And we can dive further into that. But yeah, it's really changed the direction of my life, where I'm going. And I'm really excited about what we have going on over here.
That's cool. I love that entrepreneurial seizure. I think a lot of us have experienced that. And I love that term. I may have to borrow that if you don't mind going forward. That's great.
It
So,
really is like that
yeah, I
adrenaline
love that.
happens, the
And it's so
excitement. Yeah,
accurate.
it is. Yeah.
Talk to me. Obviously, so Simply Noted, obviously, for those that don't know, and I'll let you explain more, but creates handwritten notes that
Mhm.
can be sent out to anybody from prospects to sales efforts or whatever. But I think the really cool thing about what you're doing at Simply Noted, even though everybody knows I'm in digital marketing, we know that nowadays, there's so much less mail coming through. Most of it, at least in my case, seems to be from some governmental agency wanting to send me an update that I didn't ask for. And I love the idea of a handwritten card, but I know a lot of our audience is going to go, okay, Rick, I need to send out 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 of these for a campaign. How do you handwrite 3,000 cards? And I know the answer because I've been on your website, but tell our audience, how do you physically handwrite thousands of cards for thousands of customers?
Yeah, these like you said, these are real handwritten. They're written with real ballpoint pens. Simply Noted, it's the only company in the world that's actually built their own handwriting robot. The technology that we built is second to none. It's truly amazing. We use machine learning as we write. So these robots hold real pens. They load a piece of paper and they write real custom pen written notes at scale, and they can write all day. Our current capacity is somewhere between 10,000 and 15,000 handwritten notes a day. That's what our production capabilities are. But since we build them in house, we just add more to the production line as we get busier. But really, what we're trying to do at Simply Noted is be a platform. And like you said, you mentioned earlier, you're in digital marketing. I call it like a platform as a service. We use software and technologies to automate it. So think of like Zapier API webhooks, Integrately, CRMs. Like when events are happening, we can automate sending a thank you note. Think like an e-commerce website, Shopify, WooCommerce. If someone buys something from your store, send them a thank you card. So we're helping companies automate it, but Most people just we help them scale it. So as long as it's in a spreadsheet, it's just like variable data merging. You can plug in a merge tag like hi first name, and you really can send real custom pen written notes at scale, all hyper personalized. Hi John, hi Sarah, hi Sally. The message can be completely personalized, and the use cases are all over the place. I've been doing this since 2017 or into 2017, and where I see the most success from our clients is using it as a client retention tool. So
Hmm.
saying thank you, build the relationships, build the trust, get the referrals, increase the lifetime value, or use it as a client acquisition tool. The 99.2% open rate is absolutely amazing. You're starting off on a professional friendly foot versus spamming them in their email, their Twitter, their social, calling them, texting them. Like that can be rude and intrusive. So client retention and client acquisition, I just really think handwritten notes fits really nicely in those two categories.
Oh, absolutely. Taking a step back, obviously, you talked about sports and obviously kudos. Wow, cool to be in the NFL and then obviously moving into sales from that. Talk to me a little bit about that moment when you realized that something old fashioned like handwritten notes with technology merged with it could revolutionize this customer experience. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I was our first customer. So when I was sitting in this marketing class at the end of 2017, I had this marketing professor going over all the success rates in marketing, and everything was super low, super nominal, like single digit email, cold calling, direct mail. And he ends this lecture saying, "Hey guys, you know what works better now, if not better than ever, is a good old fashioned handwritten note. Handwritten notes have a 99.2% open rate, and you can Google that. That's everywhere over the internet. They're rare. People aren't using them anymore. We live in a digital world." And I saw it, like me being in sales, I was like, man, if I can get in front of my client 99.2% of the time, that is going to make me more successful. And I'm super competitive. Like I always wanted to do better than what I did last month. So I was like, ooh, like this could work. Let's figure out a way to do this. So I started Googling and I saw there was a company called Bond. It's just like they were focusing on the wedding market, and I was just, like, wanting to pull my skin off my face. I was like,
I
"What
bet.
a terrible idea." Like, anybody who's been married understands how stressful planning a wedding is. They're one-time, maybe two-time clients. The budgets are always tight. I was like, "Why isn't somebody building a business that focuses on helping businesses do this?" So, I bought a pen plotter from China, which is basically just a little drawing machine. Been
Mhm.
around forever. They're not purposely built writing robots. But from this pen plotter, I wanted to test it within my market. I thought, "Hey, I'm gonna try to book up meetings with doctors I never worked with." So after about a month of tinkering with this, I got 500 really bad handwritten notes. I'm embarrassed about what I said now,
I love
looking
it.
at what we can do now. But these doctors, when they got them, they would call me, like, and they'd be like, "Hey, Rick, like, first off, thanks for sending me this handwritten note. This is cool. Reps don't do this nowadays." So it's automatically like earning their trust, right? And this is also booking appointments without me doing anything. But they'd call me and say, "Hey, let's book a lunch and talk about this." And I had a $50,000 a month quota. And within 6 weeks, it was just over $280,000 in new sales. My whole company's going nuts. Like it was 28 grand in commission from 500 handwritten notes. So I was
I
just
love it.
this is it. Like, that's when that moment went off. I was like, "I knew it was gonna work." Like, I could see it, I could feel it, this just proved it, and then from that moment on, I was just like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make a business around this," and it's been incredibly hard, to say the least, because I have an athletics background and a sales background, and I've started a robotics software and like, website development and industrial
Yep.
automation company, so I'm just like, I bit off way more than I can chew. But that's just my personality. You grow through what you go through, and I constantly like to challenge myself, and this has just been an incredible journey of growth, to say the least.
I love it. So I know one of the questions that I had right away, and I'm sure some of the audience does as well, is, Rick, handwritten note, that's great. But what if I don't want every note to look the same as everybody else's notes? I know you guys have got thousands of customers. If every handwritten note looks the same, won't somebody figure it out sooner or later what's going on? Do you
It
have different fonts per se or handwriting styles? How does that work?
sh That's one of the reasons why we built our own handwriting robot. If you use one of those pen plotters, what they do is they use third party developed, not purposely built plugins. Like, They
Sure.
did look the same. That's what I'm saying. I'm embarrassed about what I sent when I compare it to what we have now. There are auto pens out there too, is like what the president uses to sign stuff, but we had 55 of those and they same thing. Like when we started talking with like the big insurance companies and the big like B2Bs and hotels, they would give us that
Sure.
feedback. Like, hey, like one of these looks cool, but when we put 10 of them together, they look the same. And I'm so competitive. I was like, I'm so sick of hearing this. Like, we can't do anything about it. We've talked to these companies, we've talked to these third-party plugging people, they don't wanna do anything to fix it. I was like, "Screw it, I'm gonna build my own robot." So,
I
that's
love it.
2.5 years of development, just over $950,000, customer funded money. We built our own handwriting robot. We have 6 pending patents on it. We have our own handwriting engine that uses machine learning. So as it writes, it knows like what it's writing as it's writing. So like it will
Oh, cool.
it will intelligently connect the letters together. We call it ligature styles. It intelligently adapts kerning, which is the natural spacing between letters and words. The offset of the jitter on the left side margin will always vary. It varies the spacing between the lines. Like these aren't fonts, these aren't fonts, this is machine learning, like a handwriting engine, and this is all internally developed. There's nothing else like it in the world, and we're trying to build a platform that obviously I wanna sell this someday, and I wanna build something I'm proud of, but the person who's gonna eventually acquire us, man, this is the best in the world, and we're partnering with Simply Noted because their technology is that cool.
Maybe you made me think of some things I hadn't even thought of. The line spacing, you're right. When I handwrite a note, not every line is perfect, not even
No,
close. And, you said that my end of lines on the right side are going to be a little different on the left. They may be off just a slight bit. It's not computer perfect. And it sounds like you've accommodated for all of that in the
too much.
software. That is awesome. Oh, I love that. I love that. So I'm thinking of lots of different ways to do this. I just shared with you, we did a large campaign and did handwritten notes that went out. Next time I'm going to be doing them with you. But talk to me about some concrete examples of some of the things that you've seen customers have success with. Your story is great, but I'd love to hear, and I know my audience would love to hear a couple other examples from just average companies like Valorous Circle, not necessarily IBM and Chevrolet, but do you have any kind of just average Joe mid-sized company stories or small business stories you can share that have had success?
Yeah, so our best customers are the ones who use us for client retention or building relationships, and I always quote this American Express study, but it's about clients or customers who feel appreciated, how that's gonna cause exponential growth for your business for it's evergreen. It's just gonna continue to happen because they'll stick around longer, they'll refer more business, they'll buy more. But customers who feel appreciated are 5 times more likely to make repeat purchases. We all understand as sales, the leaky bucket syndrome. You don't want one-time clients because you'll never grow if you do one-time
Absolutely.
clients. Customers who feel appreciated are gonna be 5 times more likely to forgive a mistake. We all make mistakes. I can't even fit every mistake I've made building this company. I make mistakes all the time. It's a part of the process.
It is.
Customers who feel appreciated are 4 times more likely to make a referral. You're in marketing, like I'm technically in marketing too. We all know how much it costs to bring on a new client. It's incredibly expensive, resource extensive, takes your team time to onboard them, train them. How big can your business grow if you just retain an extra 15% of your clients every year? It's going to be exponential. And then also, upselling happy clients is so much easier than trying to sell a new client. You already have that trust, right? So we really try to preach. We do the same thing here. We use our tool to thank our customers a few times a year, but we really think this is a great client retention tool. Thank people. Just say thank you. Don't say thank you at the beginning and then sneak in a little at the end. Hey, buy 50% off your next purchase within 2 weeks because you're desperate for a sale. But just say thank you. Those stats right there, American Express was really focused on doing that research for a reason. They wanted to show the value of making somebody feel important. And nowadays, when you think about it, there's an alternative for everything. There really is. There's no such thing as just like a unique business anymore. Like OpenAI released ChatGPT and how many people wrote them off within 3 months. And that's
Yeah.
like groundbreaking technology. So I'm in sales, I understand customer service. Say thank you. Like, when I have a customer come back to me, it's just it feels so good. It's just, "Thank you." Like, yeah, I would use it as a client retention tool, but for use cases, We have a lot of brands online, and you think e-commerce, we work with a really, really cool, unique luxury hat brand. They've been using us the longest, and we've just seen their thank you cards just go up like a hockey stick. So obviously, we're a part of their success. I'm not going to say that it
Sure.
is a success, but then we work with a home service company here in Phoenix, Arizona. And after they do like their big service of the year, they go in quarterly, so like every 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
And after their big service, they'll send them a thank you card. That's like when they'll charge them the most. I think it's like $175. But when they go back in there in like 3 months, they'll see like the thank you card that we sent them. So like on the counter or their fridge. And
Love
you
it.
can't buy shelf life like that with anything else. Think about it. The email is gone in a second. It gets pushed to a spam folder. Text messages may get opened, but it's not going to get remembered. That handwritten note, I think 3 months later, it's still on their counter or you're somewhere, where they see it when they walk in. And I think that's a really cool testament to the product that we provide.
No, absolutely. I think it's amazing. Talk to me a little bit about the process. So somebody's listening to this, they're probably in their car, they're driving on the road, they're going, man, I need to do this. I can think of some great cases. If you can, without a ton of detail, but it may be the top three, four steps. How does somebody get started working with Simply Noted and what can they expect through that process? What's that kind of look like from a big rock perspective?
Yeah, so anybody can go to simplynoted.com and just send one card. We're a platform that services everybody right now. That may evolve in the future, but right now, go to simplynoted.com and just literally pick a card, type in your message and the address you want us to send it to, and it's done. I would say the real power of our platform is to scale it or automate it. And scaling it is as easy as long as your names and addresses are in a spreadsheet. You can send literally 5,000 custom, personalized, beautiful handwritten notes on really nice stationery for way less than what you're going to pay to go buy 5,000 cards at a grocery store. And that, like, you can send 5,000 cards within 2 or 3 minutes. It's literally type in your
Wow.
message, insert your merge tags, upload your list, and check out. That's the real power. And then automating. That's a little bit more technical. You got to understand Zapier APIs, webhooks, but that's more of a set it and forget it. We're just operating as a part of your business at that point, and that's what we like to be as an extension of your business. We wanna make sure we help you. We wanna be that client retention, client relationship building part of your business, and it can be completely automated and just offhanded to us, which is really cool.
And I got to say, that's one of the things that really excited me as I was looking at the product and what you do is the automations. Because as a business owner, that means I can literally get you connected into my CRM or anything else, and or like you mentioned, the e-commerce store, and literally have that automatically done where I can predefine the message I want sent.
Mhm,
That when I change a customer status from prospect to customer, I can have a pre-written template that's ready to go that gets
mhm,
automatically sent to Simply Noted. And a couple days later, my customer gets this handwritten note with the exact message I wanted them to
mhm.
have. And I didn't have to do anything. It literally happened when they signed the paperwork. And in the CRM, we went from prospect to client. It fires everything off, it integrates with Simply
Exactly.
Noted, and my customer gets it. I absolutely love that because we're all busy today. We've all got too many things going on, whether we're small, medium, or large size business, it doesn't matter. Time is of the essence. And the ability
Mhm.
to do something so personalized in an automated fashion is really, as a marketer, that's like the holy grail. It's like, wow, this is amazing. It's customized, it's personalized, and it was automated. That's just, it's amazing. I love that.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit because I'm also, in addition to marketing, I'm a nut for the chat GPTs and the Google Bards of the world and all that. How do you see, as you look forward in your crystal ball, Rick, how do you see those technologies impacting what you're doing or related tangentially? How does that help? As an example, do you see us getting to the point that we could do an integration, which I know is technically possible today, but a new customer buys a product or becomes a customer, my CRM feeds certain data on who they
Mhm.
are, what they purchased into a chat GPT engine. It then writes the letter. It then sends that text over and the related information to Simply Noted, and Simply Noted now truly creates a one of a kind custom card. Do you see those things coming? Do you think we're close, far away? What other things beyond that? Maybe I'm not looking far enough down. What do you see happening there?
We already implemented OpenAI's ChatGPT into our website, so anybody can
Oh, I
say
love
like,
it.
yeah, anybody can go to our website and say, "Write John a thank you note for meeting me for day for lunch," and it writes it and puts it there for them. I know where you're going with this, and I think there already are some workarounds, but you just have to trust the output, and that's, I think, a
Yes.
lot of the things that as as a marketer or an executive in a company, you always wanna have just that last little eye check before it gets sent. But you can use Zapier right now for customer service, and you can send over queries or send over inputs, and it can automate that message building for you. I don't know if I would still feel comfortable using something like that, but that I do see that coming. I don't think any of us can even fathom, what AI is gonna do for our businesses and automation, sales, marketing, and customer experience. I'm sure we haven't even scratched the surface, but we do
You
have
see
that ability
additional
to
integrations coming though, obviously.
it's like it's rel it's relentlessly coming. It's not even an option. It's happening already. I think marketing and sales are just going to be transformed in the next couple years. I'm already using ChatGPT every single day. It doesn't matter if I'm sending an email, doing a LinkedIn post, coming up with new topic ideas for blogs. I pay for the subscription because it's taking so much mental strain off of my plate so I can focus the mental strain on other critical parts of my
Oh,
business. But
right there with you. I
yeah,
absolutely get what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And it was interesting. I saw a stat the other day that while 41%, and I may get my numbers wrong, so the ChatGPT double check these numbers, but something along the lines like while 40%, 1% of the people in the United States have heard of ChatGPT, only like 7 or 12% are actually
Yeah.
using it. And you think about that, you go, okay, so roughly 10% of the population's using it. As an avid user, it sounds like you are, Rick. I know I am as well. I can't imagine back 6 months ago when I didn't have it because it helps me do things literally multiple times a day.
Mhm,
And like you said, it takes that it takes that thought process and minimizes it. I can
mhm.
have an idea now, and instead of having to spend 20 minutes fleshing that out to write the perfect email, I can give that idea to ChatGPT and probably get 95% of the way there in 30 seconds. And
Yeah.
then I'm just taking a minute to brush things up and press send as just one of many examples.
I
So,
think one thing for people to realize is just decision fatigue.
yeah,
The higher you up in the more problems you have to solve, or the higher you up in an organization, more responsibilities you have, like, decision fatigue is a real thing. I've made mistakes because I was just so exhausted of digging into it, I just said yes, and then it comes back to bite me. It's gonna give our brains a lot more room, to be better at critically thinking where we need to focus versus that you get a it happens, you get a customer who sends you a pissed off email, and you gotta think really
it
critically
does.
on how you're gonna respond, but now you don't. You copy, paste it, respond to this person saying, "We're sorry, and we'll fix it," and it does it for you versus sitting
Yep.
there and it's just yeah. So, it's already changing the way I work. I don't even wanna talk about Apple's, Vision Pro. That's gonna change the way I work.
Yeah.
I
Isn't
I
that
can already
amazing?
see
I'm
yeah.
excited to try that.
I'm a big techie, I love tech. I will try anything regardless if it's, like, version 1.0. Just being able to have unlimited screen space with a tactical keyboard, like, versus it's just gonna
Oh,
make
yeah.
me so much more efficient. Yeah.
I was just talking with my 15, almost 16-year-old about it last night, and it was interesting
Mhm.
to hear his perspectives as a young man compared to my perspective. And what was interesting is we both were excited about it for different reasons.
Mhm.
And I thought that was really cool to just see again what new frontiers this may open up
It's
and capabilities that it opens up.
it's gonna change everything. Think about just, like, the content, the way that you absorb content. You're gonna be able to sit courtside at an NBA finals game for 25 bucks.
Yeah.
Imagine that experience. You won't feel the haptics of it, but you can still be there in the submersion of it. So, I'm excited about it. I can't wait. Just, yeah, for relaxing too. It takes yeah, there's meditation. There's so many
So
applications.
much. Yeah.
I hope they nail it. I hope they do. I think Facebook really tried really hard, but they were more I think the application was different. They were more focused on getting people into the virtual world versus the AR, which is augmented, bringing the world to the virtual,
Exactly.
which I don't know how they missed because I don't want to put on a screen and be gone. I still want to be here. I want to,
Yeah,
but yeah,
exactly.
I know we're going off on a tangent.
Oh, that's okay. I
You
mean,
seem like a
these are all
guy that I
things
could go off on a tangent with. So,
you
yeah,
absolutely can, and
yeah,
I could go on and on.
yeah,
I love this stuff. This is great.
yeah,
Well,
so do
one
I.
of the things I'd also love that you've obviously had a wealth of experience in that. Everybody who listens to the podcast knows I ask everybody, especially based on the economy today, if you needed to start over and somebody gave you $1,000 to start with, you didn't have to worry about your living and your food and all that, but you got $1,000 to spend on the business and you want to grow a business that's hopefully capable of generating 10 grand a month or more in revenue, sales, whatever that may be. What types of things would you do in the first 91 days? That's 3 months. In the first 3 months, what types of things would you do to launch and to build that business so you had a great foundation to build upon after that?
Sure. First, I would never I'm glad I developed some sales and marketing skills before I launched a business, but for anybody listening to this, I plead for you to please don't start a business because you're tired of your boss or you just want to be your own boss. You'll never be your own boss. I still work for my customers. I'm still in customer
Absolutely.
service, but there's so many free resources out there. I started this with no funding, no loans, no debt, no investors, nothing. I got a $10,000 0% interest credit card. So that's free. So take that $1,000, now you have 11,000 bucks and you can just make little payments on that. But one thing that really, I wish I would have started day one was, and I think this is going to change now because of how Google's changing, but is SEO.
Hmm.
We have 420,000 people that organically come to our website every single day. I'm getting 100 to 300 organic leads a day. That's not paying Google for it. That's just from SEO. So I would take a holistic approach to something that for marketing, how are you going to bring business to you? But for me, I developed the sales and marketing skill. I knew how to hunt and close business, so that was free for me. But I would have invested a lot earlier on some type of marketing that was going to bring long-term leads to my business. And for me, that was SEO. I got a 2-year late start on that. I wish I would have started at day one because our business would be so much further along. Just
Yeah, but what a
yeah,
great story to share. And of course, as a digital marketer, I love those. The fact that SEO is now, even though you got started late, it's generating hundreds of leads for you every day. And you're not paying Google, you're not paying Facebook, you're
mm,
not paying Twitter, you're not paying anybody for those leads. Those are just organic quality leads, obviously some better than others, but that are
yeah,
coming into you every single day. That's amazing.
mhm,
Absolutely amazing.
yeah,
Rick, obviously, I want to encourage our listeners to reach out, Simply Noted, try your platform and think of ways to use it because I do absolutely believe, just as you and I talked pre show about the value of using handwritten notes to get in front of customers. Because you're right, they do look at them and they do open them a whole lot more than they do email. And again, I love the story you shared about how one of your home service companies, when they go into the house that notes on the refrigerator or sitting on the counter or whatever, something that people actually hold on to physically and keep. I love that. We're going to share all that. If somebody's interested, they want to get started, we'll put everything up on the screen as well. But I know a lot of people listen while they're driving. Tell us a little bit about where to go and what can they do to get started learning
yeah.
about Simply Noted.
I would go to simplynoted.com, just how it's spelled, S as in Sam, I, M as in Mary, PLY noted.com. And in the top right-hand corner, they'll say request a sample. Please request a sample. It's free. We put a lot of energy into these kits. We spend about $20 per kit. Just in
Wow.
shipping, $7. We spend a lot of time to make sure you're getting all the resources, the right handwriting samples, the brochures, case studies. So we want to make sure you get all that information up front before you even think about sending a handwritten note. Or just go to LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. We made the joke earlier that I saw you visiting
Yeah,
my
we did.
LinkedIn. I literally am on LinkedIn all day. Go to LinkedIn, Rick Elmore, Elmore, and connect with me. And I try to respond to any messages with 1 to 2 hours. Between 9 and 5, I'm pretty busy, but if not, I'll get to you after hours or on the weekend.
Fantastic. I love it. That's
Mhm.
great. Rick, I want to thank you so much. It's so cool to be able to talk to somebody that has got the entrepreneurial spirit that's done something so unique and yet so impactful for what all of us as business owners, leaders, and entrepreneurs can do on a daily basis. I absolutely love this. This is fantastic. So thank you so much. Any parting words you'd like to leave everybody with?
No, I just want to say thank you for being here. It was great to be a guest. And actually, I do. If you have a dream, just get after it. Don't wait to get started. Analysis paralysis has killed more dreams than anything else. Doubt has killed more dreams than anything else. If I can build a robotics and software company, you can start your agency, you can start your consulting company, you can launch your own business. I had no reason to start this outside of just passion, desire, perseverance, and grit and strength. So you can do it. Just take the leap of faith. It'll be worth it if you can handle the pain between the start line and the finish line.
Oh, that is great advice. It reminds me of one of my
Yeah.
favorite quotes, and it's good enough today is better than better tomorrow. Like
Hmm.
you, I've seen so many dreams that have been absolutely killed because they waited another day to make it better and another day to
Hmm.
make it better. And the day of launch never happened.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's great advice received. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody that's listened today. Rick, thank you again for joining us. Thank you for listening to us on the 91 Day Success Podcast. We hope you've had a great day and make sure to check out Simply Noted. I think you'll be amazed at what it can do to help your business connect with your customers, your prospects, and maybe even open up some new channels that you hadn't thought about before. So with that, everybody make it a great day and we'll see you on the other side.